of developing a budget and foisting yet another massive property tax increase on homeowners. What is clear from the definitive trouncing of the previous mayor and council in the recent election through meaningful and adequate public consultation, rendering this 2019 capital and operating budget ill-conceived and irrelevant. I would ask you all to self-evaluate whether you are currently knowledgeable and prepared enough to approve such massive and extensive budgetary increases in expenses for the City of Vancouver at this point in time. I would also ask, what is the hurry to approve these initiatives so rashly, especially on only faith that the previous council and its staff developed a suitable and fair budget? Please pause and exercise caution in demanding and allocating precious taxpayer dollars. Please first consider cuts to City Hall's operating budget, such as the Communications Department, which ballooned in staff during the tenure of the previous city government. And please review and reallocate funding as urgently and fairly needed with public consultation input. For example, why are only homeowners, through property tax increases, being expected to pay for the implementation of the province's new employer health tax? What does this new tax have to do with homeowners and only homeowners? Why are homeowners suddenly being unfairly targeted by both the province and the city to pay for anything and everything? We don't have stashes of money in our basements. In my case, I've been a teacher for 32 years and purchased my home in 1998 with a mortgage after many years of working 13-hour days, 6 days a week, and saving diligently. My home was not handed to me on a silver platter. There was no free lunch, nor did I expect any. As the sole breadwinner, I know what it means to be financially responsible. The hard-working residents of Vancouver expect nothing less from their government. The recommendation to spend $7.7 million for initiatives to address housing and supports for renters and vulnerable citizens is both redundant, given the recent severe correction in our real estate market, excluding its false assertion that seemingly all tenants are in need of more supports than what they already have, which is not accurate. What is accurate is that the recent quick decision by our provincial government to cap the 2019 rent increase to 2.5% is at cross purposes with this municipal set of 2019 recommendations that seek approval of a 4.9% property tax increase or even more, as I'm discovering here today. This is a hugely unfair double strike against homeowners and landlords whose wage increases cannot possibly cover these costs and whose properties are declining in value at the same time that we are paying much more in taxes. It is fundamentally wrong to ask us to pay a lot more to receive a lot less. If you do not understand and cannot explain why and how the budget recommendations in the report from the Director of Finance are necessary and fair to all residents, you should not approve them. If you do not understand, cannot explain, and cannot justify how these proposed investment areas and expenditure figures were arrived at in the report, including the 4.9% property tax increase, you should not approve them. Please take the time to learn and engage in public participation in the budget development process as best practices require. Please conduct an audit of city expenditures, make them transparent to the public, and trim the fat before you ask homeowners to pay more in taxes that they simply cannot and should not pay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have questions from Councillor Hardwick. Councillor Hardwick, please go ahead.
Well, thank you, Ms. Lavin. I hear you. I wish that all the other councillors were here and would have been able to hear you because you were speaking. It was dinner time.
Excuse me. We're not supposed. Just if I can interrupt for a second, we have a point of order here. I'll just put you on a list here.
Wait for my microphone. Thank you. Under Section 5.2 of the procedural bylaw, impugning the motives of other councillors. I know that there are councillors that are not here because they may have childcare issues and for other reasons. So I feel quite offended by any comments that would call councillors who have been here all day out for not being here. And I'm very fortunate that I have childcare this evening, and did not have to go home. In the future, we could ask all councillors to try and consider others. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, so we're trying to keep this discussion respectful.
Okay, if I can resume. I was not.
Sorry, you don't have the floor yet.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying on this point of order, or is that we're not supposed to impute the reputations of other councillors, and implying they're not here for various reasons and stuff like that. So I just bring that to your attention, and also to the presenter. Thank you very much. You may continue.
If you want to review what I said, I wish the others had been here to hear you. I was not impugning anyone. I was simply just saying...
Councillor Hardwick, this isn't a debate. Please ask your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a matter of record. I wish they were here because I thought that your position was very well articulated. One question that I do have for you, since you've obviously gone into this in considerable detail, is have you looked at the operating budget versus the capital budget? And, you know, your remarks were looking at operating budget items, and you did comment that on the capital budget, I'm assuming that these were decisions that were made by prior councils. Yes. Have you looked at both of those, and do you have any additional comments that you'd like to make between the two?
So haven't actually had the time. I think there's an issue here of time. I haven't had the time to look at the report. I understand it's over 300 pages. And I have not had that kind of time to be able to look through it and be particularly versed in all of its particulars. And that's why I'm questioning whether